When it comes to the gloom and doom, global warming, and climate change fear-mongering, the left loves to channel Helen Lovejoy from The Simpsons.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Oh yes, you hear that all the time. Won't somebody please think of the children? Except it's not about the love of the children or the love of the next generation. It's actually about exploiting them. Just look at the content they're putting out to try to get adults to go along with the left's fear-mongering scenarios about this. Take a look at this new ad that was released by the David Suzuki Foundation as part of the tongue-in-cheek 18 to 8 campaign, making a joke about whether we should lower the voting age to 8 because of climate change.
Climate change, you're a threat. How many years do we have left?
Excuse me, do you guys have a moment to talk about climate change?
So this is it, HQ, or headquarters for those who don't know. Every part of the machine is integral. Can't save the world without coffee. And naps.
We polled kids across Canada and asked them to rank election issues in order of priority. 74% ranked climate change as the issue most important to them.
Climate scientists are now saying we only have 12 years left to act if we want to avoid catastrophic damage.
Now, to be clear, I don't think the David Suzuki Foundation is genuinely pushing to lower the voting age to 8, but they are clearly in that ad using children for a very cynical political purpose. By getting kids to try to fearmonger and strong-arm adults into going along with these massive carbon taxes and anti-industrial policies just because, oh, look at the kids, they're so cute. But this is part of something far more sinister coming from the environmental alarmists, and it's not just limited to this tongue-in-cheek PSA from the David Suzuki Foundation. Take a look at this segment that appeared on CBC Kids, where some adorable little girl tells us that we're all going to die because of global warming.
A lot of people are like, oh, what about the people in the oil industries and the electronic industries and the paper industries? Well, it doesn't really matter what job you have if you're dead, so.
And of course, we have that Scandinavian phenom, Greta Thunberg. This young woman has become the face of the global warming movement. She's become the face of the global warming campaign. And I don't take aim at her like some other people do. I think she's a young woman that has a voice and she's using it. I think the adults who hold her up as some sort of demigoddess are going to find that maybe she moves on from this phase in her life, as so many teenagers do. But even if she doesn't, right now she is being handled and managed by what I can only describe as being activist stage parents and given a platform that would be called exploitation were she using it for anything other than global warming. Imagine if some 16-year-old autistic teenager were the face of the Second Amendment movement to stand up for gun ownership rights, or if she were standing up for tax cuts or anything else. If this were a conservative message, people would be calling it child abuse, but because it fits into the adult narrative, we all have to go along with it and call it charming. My issue is not with the kids that decide they want to get involved in this. In fact, if you go back to the David Suzuki Foundation PSA, the reason so many kids think global warming is important is not because they're more suited to identify key public policy issues, but because it's being rammed down their throats by the public education system. You have kids being used and adults going along with it. How many times have we seen a photo of some child at a rally holding up a sign about some public policy issue when clearly the kid doesn't know what they're talking about? They're smiling because all of these people are fawning over them and giving them attention. They're being kids. But activist adults are trying to deny children the right to be children. It's disgusting and it's sickening. For True North, I'm Andrew Lawton.